Hey,
Hello.
how you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hi, I'm Kaylee.
Hi, Kaylee. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you so much for doing this with
Yeah,
us.
no, I'm stoked to be a part of it. It's
Yeah,
really cool.
Heck yeah.
Am
So,
I
like,
okay audio wise?
yeah.
I
yeah,
watched some of them and I know some people were wearing earphones, but
yeah, I got something in,
okay.
but
I know.
no, I can hear you fine.
I'm winging it today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can do
man.
that too.
So basically, in all of our talks, we've always been talking to musicians and we've been talking to people who travel a lot. And the reason this whole thing turned into like a talk show was because of the fact that obviously we are in a pandemic and things have changed, and so we've used this as a means to like reminisce and talk about the best places that we've eaten, the best food that we've had when we've traveled. But Dave and I thought it would be really good to talk to people in the restaurant industry, especially because of the fact that we are such big fans of food, and that's what this whole thing is all about. And you guys are the ones that are really taking this whole thing head on. And I know Dave can probably add more to that as well.
Yeah, yeah. We, of course, I always want to hear about your places that you go when you're moving in and out of the country and stuff and moving around and all the friend spots and everything you have. And I do want to get to that. I want to hear some of those. But yeah, we thought, you being, an owner, a chef and owner of your restaurant, which is Harley in Laguna Beach, California. So we just kind of wanted to dive more into that side of it, like how you guys are doing with the whole COVID thing and the steps you guys take, to keep it going, and just kind of just a little more information on like how it's been that way for you guys.
Totally. Yeah. No, I'd love
So
to.
please give us a bunch of background on you and your restaurant and tell everybody like what you're all about before this whole thing happened, and then we can dive into
Yeah.
how you've adapted.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Harley is my newest restaurant. It's been open now almost 2 years, and we had a rough first year adjusting to the new community we were in Laguna Beach and trying to balance between tourism and locals. But we were starting to really get our groove when COVID hit. So we are a new American restaurant, a chef-driven restaurant. We use a lot of local organic produce. Try to source from family farms, smaller farms, trying to do the right thing more than anything else, right? And just feed people really great food. And a lot of work went into preparation of those dishes. Some of them were definitely more along the lines of fine dining, while we still had a burger on the menu. Now, post COVID, we were closed for a couple months. We shut down immediately. I didn't want to expose my family to it and my employees to it. And so we sent everybody home. I thought it'd be better to have them go home on unemployment and wait it out. Didn't think it was going to last this long, obviously. I did get a PPP loan, which for however valuable that is, we're doing our best to use it and make it work through this. But we've flipped our gears completely, and we're basically a takeout burger restaurant now. We started with doing some family style meals with barbecue ribs and fried chicken, and then we started doing an $8 cheeseburger, really trying to kind of forge ahead, thinking about what the economy is going to be like after this too, and what people are going to be looking for. So we've gotten more business from the day trippers in the beach area now than we ever did before. We were only open for dinner prior to this. Now we're open during the day, so people can grab burgers and go to the beach and do whatever crazy things that they're doing right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a big switch, and I had about 25 employees or so total, and we're operating with 7 right now. And that includes me working in the kitchen, prepping and cooking and cleaning and washing dishes and mopping the floors at the end of the night and everything else, which at 44 is not something that I want to continue doing very long. But we're hanging in there, and the biggest fight is just to see if you can come out alive on the other side of it. Not physically alive, but as a business, while also trying to balance that health factor for all your employees' families and your own family. Yeah, I have a daughter with special needs, airway issues that if she got this, I wouldn't see it going very well. She would probably end up hospitalized, and I don't want that. So yeah. Trying to be super safe while still trying to make money and survive. And I think that's what everybody's trying to do right now.
So obviously, as the chef and business owner, you've taken on so many more responsibilities and roles, maybe not necessarily responsibilities, but roles than you'd had in the past. Is it more difficult also to even run the restaurant in regards to like getting all of the food and all of the produce that you need? Has that been a challenge during this time as well?
Oh yeah, delivery, order cutoff times are earlier. Deliveries are not every day for every company. You're really, it's difficult for sure. I've found myself going and sourcing from wholesaler houses like Restaurant Depot or even Costco for product to get in, because it's just easier. It's easier, and honestly, a lot of times it's even less expensive than using our vendors. So,
wow.
Yeah, I mean that's all changed, and the expectation of even being open to do takeout is a pretty hard one to swallow. We're being extremely safe and not allowing anybody inside the restaurant. They come up to the door and they order, and everything just goes. All the transaction is just there, and everybody's wearing gloves and cleaning up afterwards and all of that. But the first thing when they reopened restaurants here in California, we weren't willing to do so, and it really didn't sit well with our landlord. My investors and my partner understood completely, but yeah, our landlord was on the other side of the fence, and it understandably so, they have bills to pay as well. So it was a difficult road to figure out, and we're still figuring it out.
Yeah. And then you guys there's no out, because I've seen so many restaurants around here like setting up tents and stuff for like the outdoor seating.
Yeah, so we were able to secure some outdoor seating. We got a couple little strips of spaces on the sidewalk outside of our building, so we were able to get 10 seats.
Okay,
it's enough to at least gain more visibility from the beach goers. They can see that there are tables, so they're more apt to come over, and it's given those that have wanted to venture out and sit down and eat, at least they have a place to go when they get there.
Yeah.
So obviously you have there's 2 different types of people during this whole pandemic that we've discovered. There are the people that are arguably erring on the side of caution more so than others. And then there are people that are like, we must forge ahead. We can't let this kind of slow us down. And personally, because I'm afraid of everything, I tend to err on the side of caution. And I, especially when it comes to restaurants and the food industry, have a very big respect, considering that both Dave and I have both worked in the service industry for a very long time. This is actually the first year that I won't have it as a job of mine. But
gosh, Dave, you're not far behind that, right?
Yeah, it's been a couple of years, but yeah.
But I really respect when restaurant owners take into account the health and safety of their staff, because unfortunately we never know where everybody sits. We don't know if you live with any older folks who have pre-existing health conditions, or have children who do, or perhaps you have asthma and you're a little bit afraid to go out and do all of these things right now. And so the service industry has always been something that I think we probably all can attest to, feels like it's been sorely taken for granted a lot. But we provide such an essential cultural addition, where it's not just about having a place to eat. It's having an experience. It's, you talk to us about how you guys work with local produce and try and do everything the right way. Like that in and of itself, I just missed you. I moved out of California about 4 years ago, so I would have loved to have eaten at your restaurant, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult to try and navigate how I would feel as an employee in a restaurant right now. And so I super respect the fact that you guys are trying to do everything really the right way and keeping the health and safety of your staff in mind, so that you are also keeping the health and safety of those you are serving in mind. My question to you is, what does an ideal customer look like in this time?
Wow. An ideal customer is somebody who's being understanding of the steps that we're going through right now. They're not overly demanding. They're a little bit more flexible. They tip well. They take care of the staff when they get there. And yeah, just be nice. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to, is just be nice to people. And all of the divisiveness has been really crazy during this. And we've felt some of it being open for takeout. That was one of my biggest fears about reopening for dine-in service, besides the fact that I felt like I was just throwing my team to the wolves. Just thinking about somebody arguing with me about wearing a mask coming in and having to deal with that. Dave and I worked at the same place for a long time, where you had to deal with a lot of security issues, and I'm over that. I don't want to be tossing people out of a place and having to deal with aggression like that. It's just, yeah. So the ideal customer is not that person. Right? It's not that person. And one thing that I saw another chef, the local chef around here, that was talking about seeing the same people constantly, and that's really what we're seeing. Most of my closest friends, and from my previous restaurant, they're in North Orange County, they're in Huntington Beach, like where Dave is, and they're not able to get down to Laguna Beach. It's a rare occasion that they're coming down there to dine, but for takeout, it's even harder, right? And you're not trying to venture out very far. We have a few people that we see once a week at least, and relying on those people to support and float a business is not gonna work. It's not. I think what I was trying to get at, it's really not fair to them. It's really nice to have those people that are being so supportive, but to have to go to the same restaurant once a week because you're just trying to help keep these businesses alive is, I don't know. It's a big move.
Yeah.
Do you think that, so basically, let's just round this out. The ideal customer is a customer that doesn't anticipate that they're going to have a dining experience like they're used to having before the pandemic.
Yes. Yeah, they have to lower their expectations a little bit. I see restaurants that are trying to be the same thing that they were prior, and good for them. I don't think that the world's going to be what it was prior, so I'm more about looking at what we're going to be up against. But yeah, lower your expectations and be nice to people. And I think when you go somewhere and you're not expecting something amazing, then you can still be wowed by the food and the service. So
Yeah.
I don't think it goes out the door. It just,
Yeah. Plus, I mean, that's not asking too much for people that have been, we've been in for almost 5 months now. It's like, if you go out, you really shouldn't expect that anyways.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, that's not asking a lot of people to just be understanding of the whole thing and just be happy to be out of the house.
Your own food.
Like, I get wonderful food from out. I mean, what more do I want right now? It's like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So that's not asking too much.
Yeah. For us, without air conditioning, any day I don't have to fire up my stove to cook dinner is a beautiful, beautiful day.
Right.
Beautiful day. So with everything that you've done to adapt your business and your restaurant to change during this time, do you see that having any lasting effects on when we're past this and every restaurant is back to normal? Like, will we see pandemic specials on menus where you have that one little deal that's takeout or something like that? Do you see any sort of?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think delivery and takeout, it was already on a huge upswing, and now people are getting conditioned to it. They know the resource to go to, whether they're using third-party apps or they're going to their favorite restaurant's website. Now they're used to it now. Even the older generation is figuring it out. They've had to. So I think that's going to have a lasting effect. I think people preparing things at home more is also something that was trending and will continue to have that upswing. So the lasting effects on restaurants overall are going to be felt from those same, the third parties that are taking large percentages of the sales, and then, people cooking for themselves. Obviously, we want them to come and get food from us instead.
Yeah. So with that, I mean, I know you're at the restaurant a lot. Everybody, even the families at the restaurant too, helping out. The kids I see the kids helping out upstairs and stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah,
but
it's
when
really
you guys,
cool.
When you guys get to actually be home and cook at home, what are you guys cooking at home?
Oh, we keep it so simple. I mean, honestly, we keep it so simple. When the pandemic first started and with the quarantine at home, stay-at-home orders first started, we were doing different things. We were making pizza dough. We were making fresh pasta. Doing all kinds of different things to keep ourselves busy. But once now we're working, meals are more sporadic. You guys are from the industry, so my kids are feeling that now, where it's like, oh, we're going to eat dinner at 9:00 finally, that kind of thing. But we're doing our best, and they've been so patient through all of it.
It helps to have awesome kids like yours.
Yeah, no, it's super. Yeah, no,
they're two of the coolest kids I've ever met. Just so everybody knows.
Well, so are yours.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I don't know. What were we talking about?
What you're eating now.
Just trying to eat at home.
Yeah, trying to eat at home. Yeah, no, yeah. So now what we're eating, we pretty much do like a protein and a vegetable. My kids don't really like pasta all that much, or even rice. So, if we're using carbs, it's probably tortillas, having tacos or something like that. But it's saute vegetables and use the cast iron pan and cook steak or chicken, and it's really simple. I use a lot of lemon juice and olive oil and salt. And those are my favorite things to put on any piece of meat. So
I'm with you on that. I've always stocked on lemon, olive oil, garlic.
yeah, and garlic, yes, for sure. And if I have fresh herbs, then awesome. But they were not that easy to find for a while. So now I can take them out of my walk-in and bring them home.
Yeah, all of a sudden it is a little nicer in that I've also struggled with the irony of the fact that everything is reopening while cases are far worse than they were when we were all hiding in our homes in March and April, afraid of this thing. Yeah. And I also know that, science is helping and we have more knowledge so that we can feel more confident in our public outings. I'm just so grateful now that it's not impossible to go to the grocery store. And at least with me, anyways, I pretty much only go to Trader Joe's because I really love how they're running their operation in Philadelphia. And it's not like they're out of everything anymore. So I'm finally able to start kind of stocking. I'm really glad I stocked my fridge and freezer and cabinets before this really got going. But now I'm actually able to start replenishing, which is really nice.
Yeah, we got really close on toilet paper. I was nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar scare. Will it be in stock?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's been quite a ride.
Yeah, it's crazy.
For sure. But it's really, we wanted to make sure that this was an eye-opening episode for everybody who maybe doesn't have a past in the service industry, so that they could kind of see what it is that restaurants are doing to adapt not only to their business model as it stands, but also to keep the health and safety of their staff and the people that they're serving, because it's, we all eat food. If for some reason we were, I personally have only eaten at restaurants that I know the people who work or own the restaurant, and I'm like, yeah, they're doing everything well. Because something that I don't think a lot of people in the service industry that are not in the service industry know, that notoriously, if you don't feel good, you don't get paid for coming to work. So it's not necessarily something that you want to see a restaurant be like, no, we're trudging through and we're open and it doesn't matter. It does kind of matter, because we got to take care of everybody and we've got to make sure that everybody's safe and healthy. And in some other places we've seen restaurants being like, we're closed today, and we're like, we know what that means, you're just not telling us.
Oh, exactly. I've been struggling a lot with that. I will entertain you with a little bit of that part of it. Choosing to close and choosing not to reopen during the dine-in portion of our state's choice to do so put me on the total opposite side of almost everybody else. Dave and I have mutual friends who own restaurants, and some of them just packed the house. And while I was frustrated by it, I also understood it. I understood their side of it. I just couldn't do it myself, and some of them made that choice knowingly. Some of them believed it to be a hoax, whatever it was. But when we started seeing all of the outbreaks everywhere, I definitely felt vindicated, and at least vindicated in the fact that I knew that I didn't expose my staff to that, because people were calling them staff outbreaks, restaurant staff outbreaks at this restaurant and this one. And I had a contact in the health department who used the terminology when she was messaging me, and I told her, I'm like, I think you've got it all wrong. It's a community outbreak that's spreading to restaurant workers, because they're the ones that have to go there. We all know that the mask isn't protecting us from other people. It's protecting other people from us. So we get to wear a mask at your table and protect you while you all look at us and scream out your orders over the music and the noise around you. It was bound to happen. It doesn't make any sense to reopen restaurants until you're, testing and tracing cases. You've got a downturn. So many things need to be done differently for me to feel comfortable opening it. I'm trying to stabilize my restaurant in this takeout format and, taking it down to a fast casual burger concept out the door. So that, hey, if I can pay my rent and my employees and run like this post-pandemic, perfectly fine with that. Restaurants don't make any money right now. It's only gotten worse in the past 5 to 8 years. And labor is one of the biggest killers. So right now, we were forced to run on skeleton crew, and then you start to figure out, okay, well, how can I do this? And, I need to continue doing this. As much as I love employing people, nobody wants to spend $45 on a hamburger. Because, realistically, the gourmet burger that you're charging $25 for, you should probably be charging $45 for. And it's not going to happen. The public doesn't want to pay what really needs to be paid for food in order for all of us not to be working for nothing. For people to take risks like we do as owners, taking risks in restaurants has gotten harder and harder to justify. I keep thinking about this restaurant that I'm at in particular, and trying to sustain that one, but then looking to the future at what else can you do? It's got to be lean and mean to make any money. And I love fancy restaurants. I love fine dining and high service. But I don't see that being something except for wealthy people that can do it as a hobby. The saisons of the world that are owned by Twitter, that they don't have to run a tight food cost or worry about paying their bills.
Yeah. No, man, I'll go on and say it over and over again. I just appreciate the way you handle the things you do and the way you handle your restaurant, and I have a lot of respect for you, the way you and your family handle all this stuff.
Thank you. Yeah. And I appreciate you saying that. And it's, it's something that we've questioned over the years many times. I remember very early on in my last restaurant venture, where, my wife's like, why can you not just order everything from Cisco and we can make money? And that's, it's just not something I am comfortable doing. So if I can't make money the right way in this industry, then I will probably find something else to do. So,
Yeah.
It's, I'm meeting you tonight, but I already have immense amounts of respect for you and how you've explained everything to me, because I think another thing that people don't necessarily realize is what you were saying, that restaurant industry is hard, and it's really hard to make money in as well, because you're trying, you do it because you love to do it. And in some instances, it's not a far cry from the musicians of the world. The vast majority of us aren't in this because we make a lot of money. Like I said, this is the first year I'm not working in a restaurant as a full-time musician. We do it because we love it, but it's so oftentimes something that is taken for granted, not given the credence and the respect and the monetary value. We've put such an interesting monetary value on restaurants and food. And then, then you can get into the whole Venn diagram of musicians as well and be like, Spotify, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
We're getting less than a third of a cent on streams, but this is how music is consumed these days. And I think that the awareness, people are starting to shift and see the ugly truth that they didn't want to notice about a lot of things. And I think that hopefully we'll all start to see a bit more respect being given to the restaurants that are doing things the best way they can. And I sincerely hope that, you know, even just like you said, from having an outdoor dining presence so that you can draw some more traffic in, that you'll see that just continue to snowball because you guys adapted. You guys figured out how to do this the right way. And then once things are opened up, you guys will forever be the restaurant that made it work.
Right. Exactly. That's the hope. And that's what we're trying to do. And that's why we're there working every day doing it. So yeah, that, you know, getting through this is the goal for, you know, obviously every little restaurant that's out there right now struggling, you know, and every musician who can't play a gig. You know, I have family in the industry too, and that I know where the money comes from, and it's not from albums. It's from going out there and entertaining people. You know, and I feel like it's similar in the fact that takeout is not gonna work for restaurants entirely. You know, we have to get in front of you. So yeah, there are a lot of similarities.
Well, since we're kind of like starting to wrap up a little bit, to keep with the original. Obviously, I mean, I know this was more of a special episode that we wanted to kind of dive into give people a little more inside info on everything. But keeping with the normal topics on the show, not to put you on the spot, like really like quick, but if you could give me like 5 spots in the US that for when we start to tour again, and you know that hopefully everybody's still there and everything, what would you have? What would the list be?
5 spots. Let's see.
Go.
I'm gonna go. I can do this.
I know you can.
Llama Inn in Brooklyn, I think it's Williamsburg, is pretty awesome. They do these great little skewered meats that are out of this world, and lots of great small plates. Let's see, where else would I send you in the world? I would love to. I'm hoping that Pok Pok makes it through this pandemic and their original location in Portland, that you're able to make it there. Gosh, what other places? I had stuff in my head. In Nashville, Hattie B's fried chicken. If you haven't already had that.
Have you had Prince's?
I have not. I was told that, you know, that's the original, but if you want, you know, the sides to taste better, then go to Hattie B's.
I will not tell you that you're wrong. I just had to ask.
Yeah. I have not gone, but I definitely would want to venture there. But I've gone to Hattie B's twice now, and then Husk in Nashville was an amazing experience, and you know, it's kind of that level that I wanted my restaurant to be, was you know, using local farms and having the food be approachable but still beautiful, and it looks like somebody, you know, gives a shit in the kitchen that put it out. I really love the Pacific Northwest for food, Seattle and Portland, but Portland especially. We haven't been in a few years, and gosh, I have a lot more to throw at you right now. I think I'm just blanking.
It's already a great list.
That is a great list. Have you ever been out to Philly?
I have not been to Philly. Definitely a spot I want to make it to.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to tell me where to go when I do.
Absolutely. Definitely depends on what you want, because one of the things that I'm finding from my time here is that it's got everything, which has really been fun for me and my boyfriend to work through just an infinite list of genres of food and options for us.
You've been there 4 years now?
No, I lived in Nashville after I left California. That's why I
Oh,
had to ask about Prince's.
yeah.
And then I've lived in Philadelphia 2.5 years now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's already 2.5 years. That's crazy.
I mean, so I honestly, I'm like getting blurry on the math because I move around too much, but I think I'll stay here.
I definitely miss traveling. And you know, any time that we would travel anywhere, it usually revolved around food in one way or another. Either the destination was there because of the fact that there was amazing food to be had, or when we were making our plans for what we were going to do, there were always, you know, these places that you have to go to. So yeah, that's always the most important topic in travel.
Yeah.
But I miss it a lot. I mean, going through photos, and we used to go to New York once a year and go to a chef's convention there. And the whole time that we'd be out there for 4 or 5 days, we'd just be eating and drinking through the town and absorbing all of that, all of the creativity and everything that other chefs are doing. I think it fuels you. And so being cooped up and really being narrow-minded right now is not as fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very similar to not being able to tour. And I mean,
Yeah, you gotta be really antsy.
Yeah, it gets tough. But you know,
when you're used to being gone all the time, I mean, that's hard to adapt.
yeah. But you know, we all stick together. We all keep our, you know, heads on straight, and we'll get through it.
Yeah, at least we
We'll all
have
be out there
too.
again.
You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be single during this. You know, it just does it. At least we all have our families, and you know, and you have your boyfriend, and yeah.
We just got a foster dog too.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
He still hasn't gone to the bathroom since we got him. So every time you need Dodge, I'm like looking at this dog, like, are you gonna do this in the house, really, after a full day? But trying to keep it interesting. So
Yeah.
obviously we've spoken at great lengths about your restaurant, and I would highly recommend anybody who's listening and watching this to definitely pay you a visit. Where does a chef get takeout?
Well, like you, I'm really going to the places that I know that are run by people that I know, and I know they're doing the right things, and people that I want to support. Our biggest spots to get takeout from in Orange County right now have been Clay Oven in Irvine, which is an Indian restaurant. We from Vaca in Costa Mesa, which is a Spanish restaurant and by a chef that has a neighboring restaurant right across the street from me in Laguna. And then Taco Maria in Costa Mesa recently got a Michelin star. Now it is a Mexicatessen. That is his pivot, and it's pretty awesome. For our birthday, we got some, chicken mole and chile verde, and just, plastic containers of beans and rice, and like it was amazing food. But to see a pivot like that from a chef that had just gotten a Michelin star is pretty crazy. So those are the places that we have gone to the most in this time. Otherwise, we're just eating a family meal at Harley.
That's awesome.
It's been awesome too. That's,
Yeah.
That's
Well,
really
cool.
great.
Do you have anything else, Kaylee?
I'm just full of questions. I also had no idea that Taco Maria got a Michelin star because I used to live in Costa Mesa. That's so
okay. Yeah. And he's been just extremely careful from the very beginning, and we spoke very early on, and expressed that we had the same feelings about all of this and about reopening. And, he just took a very hard stance on it. Even outdoor dining, he hasn't done any of that. It's all, you order ahead, you come to the window, we bring you your food, and you're out the door. And that's how much contact they want to have with people. And I highly respect it. And, the motivation is there. It's positive and, the right one.
That's great. I need those places. I need those places around here because, Kaylee already knows I could count on one hand the amount of times I've eaten out since all this happened. So the more info I know.
Over there. You can get to that one.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All those places, Irvine, Costa Mesa, we got to get down to your spot at one of these points.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll get everybody to take a drive.
Yeah, just take a drive, come grab some burgers. We're doing burgers and fried chicken sandwiches and seared ahi sandwiches. And
it's like the Dave meal, the Dave menu.
Yeah. And you know how much Gregory loves French fries. My son, who's going to be 6 in a couple of days, he's he's just happy that we have French fries. We have French fries. Nothing else matters.
That's great.
I just want to say thank you so much. It's been really enlightening getting to speak with you about this, and I personally have so much respect for you taking this whole really aggressively shitty situation and turning it into something really wonderful. I know that you've had to make a lot of decisions that were very difficult to make and are continuously going to be difficult to continue with as, the states reopen things. Who knows what we're really in for, but I just want to thank you so much for speaking with us about it, because I think it's super important for people like us who love food to spread the word about being a good food consumer during this time and knowing what you guys are all going through.
Yeah, I think that's a good message to get out there. Support your local restaurants with what you can and what you're comfortable doing. Don't kill yourself doing it, because we're all going through something right now, obviously. So yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Man.
Really
thanks
cool.
for doing it.
I have a lot of respect for what you guys do, and hope that both of our industries come out on top after this.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, next time I'm out in Orange County, I know where I'll be coming for my pre-show meal.
Better.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Greg.
All right,
good to see you, man. All love to the family.
Same.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Bye.